Welcome back to Durbanites FPL Game Week 14 preview. So let's get into it, guys. A tight game this one, and City lost their top spot to Arsenal in the run. Haaland is still putting the ball in the net, but the jury is out on whether his cost can be better used elsewhere. Spurs and Aston Villa, both top 5 teams, are up next, so no guarantees. It's very difficult to call out any must-haves, even in this team of stars. But Haaland is one if you have the cash. Alvarez is a good backup at a better price, and Jeremy Doku has been looking dangerous as of late. Liverpool fans should be salivating at the upcoming fixtures, and they have a real chance to grab the top spot in this festive season run. One point of concern is that Alisson Becker is out for 2 of those weeks, and at least the same for Diogo Jota. So once again, you want to move your chips to Mo Salah here, or take a punt on Darwin Núñez instead of Alvarez. They both have 4 goals and 6 assists so far. You can look at Tsimikas at the back. He's swinging in corners from the left and has already registered 2 assists and 3 clean sheets in just 4 games, averaging 5.2 points per game. Let's move to Burnley. Burnley. They have now lost 6 on the trot since beating Luton, rooted to the foot of the table and 5 points away from escaping the drop zone. Sheffield United coming up are companions in the relegation zone, and currently Wolves are blowing hot and cold. But Lyle Foster is out with illness. There's no recommendation from my end. The Hammers won on the weekend and in Europe midweek, so they are stepping up with 2 wins in their last 2 against 2 losses for Palace, and are a good bet this weekend, even with Jared Bowen's knee injury making him doubtful, while Prowse and his dead ball skills are still up for grabs. Luton moves out of the relegation zone with 9 points from 13 games, but this is mainly due to Everton losing 10 points. No recommendations looking at the next 3 fixtures coming up for them. Palace are coming off 2 losses, and it's unlikely West Ham will be an easy win. Eze is out again with an injury, but Olise is back and scoring. Ayew is always in the mix, and Anderson still remains a good budget pick for clean sheets and goals from set plays. Newcastle really had to raise their game in this one, but a well-deserved win against a resurgent Chelsea, sparked by top-scoring Anthony Gordon. Tough fixtures in the next 3 weeks, so not out of the woods yet. With major injuries to Botman and Byrne at the back, Longstaff, Anderson, Murphy and Barnes out in the middle, and Callum Wilson is out in front. But Isak is available and in good form, so look to Gordon, Isak and Almiron, and the Durbanites' chosen one, Kieran Trippier. Chelsea face their own challenges with Brighton coming off a successful week in Europe before they take on Manchester United. Chelsea's defense is decimated with Gusto, Chilwell, Cucurella and Fofana and Captain Reece James out. They are still too volatile to make solid picks, but Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling and Conor Gallagher are the form picks that you may want to punt on. Forest lost a close one last week, but with a favourable run on paper ahead and the only major injury being Awoni, who is out until Feb, they have a chance to get some points, and for the fantasy managers, Gibbs White and Elanga are the clear routes to those points. Brighton are taking this fixture narrowly, which means they've only lost 1 in their last 5 Premier League games against City, but have also not picked up what should have been easy points against Everton and Sheffield United. That being said, they've won in Europe midweek, and even with the defensive line that is missing Estupinian and Dunk, and a midfield missing Solly March and Ansu Fati, Mitoma and Gross are good to go through, and João Pedro and Evan Ferguson are a toss-up, with Ferguson showing more consistency. Sheffield United are the closest of the bottom 3 to escape relegation, but are just 1 point off rock bottom, and that could change this week against fellow strugglers Burnley. They've only scored 11 goals in 13 games, losing 10 along the way. No picks from me on this one. Bournemouth got the win last time out with Marcus Tavernier making the difference. Solanke remains the best bet for points from this team, but with a confident Aston Villa eyeing this fixture before a tough festive season run, they will be hard-pressed to get a result. Brentford narrowly lost to league leaders last week, but they're looking dangerous again, and with Luton and Sheffield United coming up, Matthias Jensen and Kevin Skada are out, but with Brian Mbeumo, Johan Wissa and Neil Maupay, these are your best routes to points for Brentford, especially if you're moving on players from City or Villa in the next few weeks. Arsenal can't cruise at the top with just 2 points between the top 3, but Wolves and Luton ahead might give them a chance to open up some gap. There are no major injury worries. Odegaard is back, but Saka easily remains the best with 2 points. Havertz has scored 2 in 2, including Europe, but I'm not recommending him just yet. Gabby Jesus is back, and Rice and Trossard are good budget picks, but maybe not the most prolific point scorers. Spurs are facing a tough time. 3 losses on the trot, with the champions up next, and still missing key defenders Van de Ven and Romero, midfielders Madison, Sarr, Richarlison, Manor Solomon, and poor Rodrigo Bentancur just coming back after a long layoff to get taken out by Matty Cash. Tough times for the fans of the Uruguayan. Son is carrying a lot of weight for the team, but his results for the last 3 weeks are proof that this is difficult, and I would recommend dropping him in favor of Saka or Mbuemo considering the challenges. If you're carrying villains in your squad, you have one more week to move them out ahead of 2 top 4 clashes in the next 3 weeks. Bournemouth is probably a good chance for some points this week. Big news is that Ollie Watkins is injured, doubtful to play or start. Otherwise, they seem solid, but definitely be cautious. Everton didn't fight as expected, and this week take on Notts Forest with their first choice strikers doubtful. Ducouré and Mikolenko are probably the best picks, and for the adventurous, look at Jack Harrison. Manchester United are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you will get. We got possibly one of the best goals of the season, if not the whole Premier League in this game. A 3-0 win is big, but true to form, they lost a 3-1 lead against Galatasaray to draw in Istanbul midweek. They're slightly easing on injuries, which is great considering the festive season roster, but aside from Bruno and possibly Gallo, there are no picks, and with Newcastle up next, probably hold off for friendlier fixtures. Fulham picked up 3 points last time out, but without Diop they do concede more, and so Leno is impacted for those that are holding him. No picks against a fully fit Liverpool this week. Wolves are so good on attack, and Heechan is carrying a lot in the absence of Neto, scoring less than 4 in only once in the last 7 games. He's cooking. 7 goals and 2 assists this season. Not sure if I back him against Arsenal, even though he has scored against Liverpool, City, Villa, and Newcastle this season. But no other picks for now. Let's look at the fixture rating. So, looking at the next 3 weeks, you want to rely heavily on Arsenal, Brentford, Liverpool, and Forest. So, Arsenal and Liverpool definitely have some really good fixtures coming up. And Brentford is showing the good form. But be cautious with the perennial favourites, Aston Villa. Definitely looking at them, they've got some tough games coming up in the next couple of weeks. Manchester United still not hitting the form that we expect. And of course, Bournemouth, Everton always in trouble, and Spurs have some very tough fixtures. So maybe look at shuffling up that squad. So that's our outlook for game week 14, guys. Drop me a like and follow, and please let me have some comments if you want to see something different. But that's all for now.